Well, welcome everyone to a special Father's Day video that we're going to shoot with the Arnold Motorsports race team as they compete up at US 36 Raceway. We're going to be talking with Brian Arnold, the father of Haley and Amanda Arnold, as they compete on the ASCS Midwest Warrior Tour. And like I say, tonight they are going to be at US 36. Let's join in and see just what all a dad does on the ASCS Tour. Well, folks, it's getting close to Father's Day, going to be Sunday, and we thought it might be a good opportunity to catch up with a dad in racing. And man, I think we found one here. All right. Sure, we got Brian Arnold with us, and he is the dad of Haley and Miranda Arnold, who, as you can see kind of in the background, are sprint car racers. And man, this got to be a full-time job just doing this, right, Brian?
It is. Not for me though. The girls do it, and then Travis Mars helps them, and I just work to try to pay for it. That's all we do. So I don't do much other than just drive them to the racetrack and help them here a little bit. So
well, let's talk a little bit about your racing background. Now, I understand you did some racing yourself.
I did. Back in 1989, I bought my first thing was a dirt bike. And, just about the day before we got married, and ever since then that's when I started racing. And then when State Fair Speedway had opened up, I'd race street stocks for 2 or 3 years there, and then thought I'd try street stocks in a modified, and tried that. The next thing I know is I had a sprint car trying to race 3 of them, and that was too much work. So I get out of racing back in 95, 96, somewhere around there, and swore I'd never do it again. And then when Haley turned 12, 13, she wanted to race four-wheelers, and like, no, and so kept on, ended up letting her race. So we went from four-wheelers into sprint cars. So. Okay, to kind of digress just a little bit, 19 years ago you have the first daughter is born, and yes, like I say, that's Haley. Mm-hmm. And then what, just 2 years later, Miranda? Yep, then Miranda. So and then they both started racing pretty much the same time. I mean, we all just kind of did it as a family as far as with the dirt bikes and four-wheelers. And I wish I'd started them earlier, honestly, so they would have had more experience either in some go-karts or something, just so we all kind of would, Yeah. So it's been a real learning experience. So, and it's hard with 2 cars, especially watching them. So on them.
I was going to say, that's some of the things I find out from moms and dads is the toughest part is the watching. It was much easier when you were racing.
Yeah, that's true. And when I raced, I was addicted to it like anybody. I worked in my car 24/7 and won championships, and to watch them stay at the shop till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it's amazing how they get it done. Yeah. So.
Well, let me ask you this: when they were small and you were out in the garage working, were they picking up wrenches, or did you say I need a half-inch box end?
Yep, they know their tools. Yeah, they always have, and they would be out there in the garage always taking stuff apart. Or Haley would be pulling Miranda up with a golf cart up the top of a tree. They'd tie a rope around it, and one time they had a Barbie Jeep that I put a 12-volt battery in. Well, next thing I know, it had a bunch of extra power. Next thing I know, they was drove upside a tree and had flipped over on top of them, just laughing. So, yeah, it's been quite interesting with them.
Okay, still talking about quads and motorcycles and whatever, that's still quite a transition to go from that size, I guess, and that speed. Yeah. Was there nothing in between that and sprints?
No, well, the hobby stocks. Back when the hobby stock, really the little traditional, little 4-cylinders like they run at LA, me and a couple other friends, actually about 10 other friends, we built some of the first hobby stocks around, and we were winning everything around whenever started that. And so they decided they wanted to do that, so I built them a couple really good ones. And Haley, her first race, she was in Springfield, Missouri up there. She was leading by over half a track lead, and was like, gosh, she's going faster and faster her first race. Next thing I know, she hits the wall and then flips it. And then Miranda, we put her right in a sprint car shortly after that. And then Miranda was still racing hobby stocks, and she was just winning. She won a championship and all in her first year, and won a bunch of races. And it was after that, it was kind of like, shoot, she wanted to race sprint car too. So, so she always got Haley's old stuff, you know what I mean? And she always got the old equipment and stuff. And then this year was the first year that we actually had bought everything new, where they both had, you know, matching equipment, basically, all new stuff. So
I know how that is. I was the last of 6, and I say you don't know what poor is until you put on a pair of shoes and it's got somebody else's footprint in it.
No, that's a fact, you know. And when I raced too, my dad worked in McCown's driving a semi truck, and he would work hours of the night just to give me $200 to go racing, you know. And that's because Kelly and I didn't have the money really to do it back then, and so so I just know how cool it is when I see other father-son teams. You know, I always got a soft heart for that. And that's from what my dad would do. So.
You know, in a way, this is what powers a lot of racing is family teams.
Well, what you're going on right there is so right. You know, they don't do anything but, you know, we hang out with the family. I mean, everything we do together. I haven't spent time away from them, so I don't know what's going to be like, you know, the transition one day. So, so I mean, that's all I know. So
I guess there's a few lucky people out there that have the sponsors and whatever, and they can go out and form their own team. But like I say, if I had to make a guess, I bet it's got to be between 50 and 75% of racers. It's a family operation, and it's everybody involved.
No, that's a fact. You know, it's everything we can do. I mean, we don't go on vacations. We don't, you know, have a big fancy house. We spend every dime on racing. I mean, that's what we do, and that's about all we know, really.
Okay, I'm going to touch on one other little thing. Now, I was down at Double X last year, and I think I seen Haley do a pretty good flip down there, if I remember right. I think that was last year down in turns 1 and 2. In fact, I was only about 35 feet.
She was leading the heat race, and Sean McClellan dive bombed in on her, I think, with 1 lap to go or something.
Man, what was going through your mind? I mean, do you get used to it after? I guess what I'm trying to say.
Would you call it numb? But I don't know if you call it numb or you just get used to it to where, you know what, they've got the best of the best. And when I told him, if you're going to race, you know, anything can happen. I just don't want to regret life, you know, if something ever did. You know, if you guys want to do it, I'll be behind you. If not, let's walk away. You know, it's no big deal. And they've chosen to do it, you know, so I don't get when they do, you know, because Miranda's taken some pretty bad ones too. And you know, it's just, to me, it's just like walking anymore. I don't run down there. I don't. So it's. How
about Mom? I mean, I know we're doing the Father's Day thing.
She's gotten a lot better. Before, she'd drop the camera and you'd hear squealing and everything. And anymore, it's, you know, I think she's kind of got the same way. You know, of course, you don't want to see them wreck. It's just, you know, it happens.
It's part of it.
You know, it happens. That's what you know, that's the danger of the sport.
Yeah.
So the demon.
Boy, I don't know exactly how to say this, but I can't imagine it's tough enough keeping up with 1 race team. How in the world do you keep up with 2? Now I know you've got a crew chief this year.
This is the first year we've had one. This is the first year that we've really had help, and it's made it like easy. You know what I mean? Really, even on the girls, you know what I mean, where they can come home. Like Miranda works at the shop, and she works around the car lot. And then works on the race car too, you know what I mean? But like they don't have to do nearly like what they used to have. Like Travis, you know, handles a lot of it now. So now it's kind of the transition to maybe we can get them at the track to let them think a little bit more and actually watch some racing instead of just constantly working on their cars. So that was what our goal was for this year. So
let's just, if you just a guess, and I know that's what it'll be. How many hours a week do these girls? And there again, I told Haley, I don't know whether to say young ladies,
well,
women.
Like, last year, they'd be at the shop till 2 o'clock in the morning every night. And then last year also, I built an apartment or a house inside our shop. So, like, we got tired of the girls were always at the shop, and my wife and I'd be at home. So we built a home inside the shop. So we moved in there. So during race season, and so it made it a lot nicer last year, you know, especially. And then that got old real quick, living at the shop, at least for my wife. I enjoyed it, but she didn't, so we moved back home full time now. And Travis lives at the shop, and then the girls will stay there on like double race nights and stuff when we're doing a lot. So a lot of hours. I mean, they would do 7 days a week till 12, 1, 2 o'clock. I mean, they really did. Because at one point we had 4 race cars. We had 2 305s and 2 360s. So we'd race Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow. Friday,
LA, Saturday at Lake the Ozarks, and then Sunday, California. So, and they did that on their own. I mean, they really did. It was crazy, stupid.
What, and I don't know whether I guess this is a question for Dad. What are the expectations? I mean, is it?
You know, I've lost my expectations. because like I'd always set my goals high in life, just in general, in anything I ever did, and I tried to put that in them, which puts a lot of pressure on them. So expectations are, you know what, let's just go have fun. Let's figure out how to have fun, and then success will come with that. Yeah. Because you put too much pressure, it just ain't gonna work. Nobody's ever happy. I'm never happy if that's the case, you know. So I had to rechannel, refocus myself into just, hey, you know what? It's success we got here tonight. You know what I mean? That's to me what's important. Just slowing down, enjoying it a little bit. So that's what we've tried to slow down this year and only race, not quantity. You know, we're trying to figure out how to do quality now. So.
Well, I know last year Miranda, if I remember right, was 5th in the points in the Warrior division at one point. Now I don't know how that finished up, but I mean,
9th.
Finished up.
Yeah.
8th or 9th. So still, if the expectation level is not that high, though, that's still the performance level is up there where it should be.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess this year the problem was I thought, well, if we buy everything, we get a crew chief, we buy all new stuff, then I had my expectations high. While, you know, I got let down just so, you know, it's just everybody's trying to do the same thing out here. You know, we just don't have enough experience, you know, point blank. And you got a girl, you add a girl to the factor. You know what I mean? How many girls have made it? You know, I mean, it's just, it's a come and go sport, it seems like, versus longevity. And that's why I've tried to, like, I want them to be here 20, 30 years from now. Kind of like Randy Martin. Look at him. I raced with him back then. You know, well, I came and I gone, but he's still going. You know, that to me is something to be proud of. So, so I think you got to slow down a little bit and, you know, and just try to enjoy it and for what it's worth versus trying to be the best of the best, you know, because it's just too hard. You know? Well,
and the competition level does not ever get any easier in the ASCS. I mean, it is the one division where you've got a lot of guys coming down from the 410s. And then you've got a lot of new talent coming in, and kids that I see all the time. Of course, they continually amaze me.
Yeah,
at the younger ages.
You know, the money's just done. If you don't have the sponsors, you know, I mean, it's when you pay 100% of it out of your pocket. I mean, it's it kind of just takes out of when you go to work and you sell a car, or you sell 10 cars, and you don't see the money, and you're always just spending it on your race car stuff. It kind of gets like, what are we doing? You know. So that's why I just, the quality of racing versus quantity is what we try to slow down and just enjoy.
We might mention, I think the #1 sponsor on this, I think it's Midmo
Auto Sales.
Midmo Auto Sales, and that is located
on South 65 Highway in Sedalia. Kelly and I, that's our business and the girls, and that's what feeds our habit.
Yeah.
So we got 4 employees, and that used to just be us, you know, just Kelly and I, and then the girls. And so this last year we've hired people in to try to start helping, and makes it a little nicer. It gives us, her and I, a little more personal time, you know, throughout the day. So, but yeah.
Okay, Brian, I think we've got some little background information we needed here.
Right, too much, yeah.
On how you got here. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hang out around here tonight and just see what all goes into running this double young lady sprint car team.
Yes, sir.
Here on the ASCS Warrior Division Trail.
Sounds good.
And I think the rain has quit, which
the sun looks like it's trying to come back out.
Gave us an opportunity to sit down with you, Brian, and all I can say is being a dad, man, I know it's tough, man, teenagers, whatever. And of course, we didn't mention boyfriends, but I don't imagine if they're in the shop every night.
They're none. That's something we haven't had to worry about. You know, if you want to race, there ain't no boys around, so we run. They hadn't had to worry about that. Yeah. So, and I've been lucky with my girls as far as all the stuff that maybe Kelly and I, my wife, that we did whenever we were kids, that we didn't want them to experience anything. So anyway, so racing has you know, succeeded in that. So.
Also, I think something else a lot of parents forget about, this is also a good tool for reward or whatever in school performance and whatever.
Yep.
So,
and that's Haley's in college now, so that's kind of needs to be her main concern here, starting.
What's she majoring in? Just for the fun of it.
Haley? Engineering.
You, not me.
No, engineering.
Engineering.
So, yeah, and she'd probably be transferring to Raleigh here just before too long, so that'll probably, I don't know, we'll see what happens there. So
yeah.
So she needs to focus on that for now.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, like I say, man, we're going to follow you around. Hope we don't get in the way. We'll try to stay out of the way. But they're going to have some in-car cameras on later on, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. But thanks a lot for talking with us, Brian. And before I forget it, Happy Father's Day Sunday.
Thank you.
Here is the Arnold Motorsports Racing Carrier. Carry 2 sprint cars in here. Let's go inside and just check out some of the stuff that you might see in a motorsports carrier. You can see up here on the ceiling, we've got 2 wings. Top wing. Over here we've got 3 front wings. Looks like we might have every type of cleaner, lubricant, detailer, whatever stuff that you can find. That's a tire pressure gauge. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what that's for. Good.
How am I doing?
Not sure what exactly that is. And I think you could say we probably got every kind of wrench we might ever need. Once again, going up here, there's 2 front axles on the front. And it looks like we've got some type of a cable hoist here, electric cable hoist, which I'm sure if we want to change the motor. And I don't know, but I think we've got several tires up there unmounted. Wow. Of course, there's the girls' helmets. Then we go over here and we have got just a few tires. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rear tires and 3 fronts. Got the old board there with a lot of numbers and stuff written down. I don't know whether that's stagger or what it is. There's an Arnold Motorsports poster. Brian, notice you guys are starting to work on the setup just a little bit, and you're kind of changing things up just a little bit. No, we're going to have a tacky track, it looks like, tonight. How much different are you going to have to change the car?
Quite a little bit, because usually this time of year everything's slick, and so space the tire out big here and just lots of stagger and just try to keep the car on the track, you know. So that's what we're going to do.
That's pretty much it. You just move the right rear out. Can you tell me a reason why that might be?
Just so if there's ruts out there and stuff, it keeps the car more stable versus it doesn't let it take and just bobble over on the right rear, and it'll kind of teeter-totter. So that's why.
Let me ask you this. Is there much of a difference in the setup for the 2 girls? I mean, does one have a little different driving style than the other, or do you have to do quite a bit for the different drivers?
Yes, they both have very much different driving styles, and we tried to kind of keep them real close to have a basic starting point, and that's something that Brian Brown really showed us to do, is like, don't try to reinvent the wheel, keep it basic, keep it the same so they know, so they get a little sense of security what the car is always going to do. So that's what he's taught us, trying to just don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just try to keep on doing the same thing everywhere you go and do small changes, and the girls, they know about the cars, and I help them do whatever they tell me to do on them at the track. So
I was going to say, we were just talking a little bit there before we started this, and you were saying, man, the technology and everything has changed so much from when you drove that, of course, that's part of, I guess, why you have a crew chief too, is, boy, let him handle this stuff.
Yeah, that's him and the girls' job there. They make their own decisions, and I drive the semi-truck. So I get them to the track, and I'm trying to get out of that job too. So the less I do, the better off I am. So yes, that's very true.
Any idea what starting positions are going to be for the gals tonight?
No idea. I don't think they have. Y'all drew yet?
No, we actually haven't. Haley's up there doing that right now.
So yeah, nothing yet. So we don't know. So
okay. We'll check back in with you here in a little bit when things get a little bit more underway. But what are you measuring the distance in from the chassis out?
We're measuring. We're just measuring to see where we're going to put the right rear right now. So that's all we're doing now.
All right, we'll be back.
Yeah. And I got 13 and a half right now is where we're at.
Okay.
That's as low as we could get.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Let's see.
Just so you know, Jeff, I didn't tell him I knew anything about race cars.
I know.
So I don't
Started.
Hey, John Lee. I've been seeing a lot of dirt bike accidents now.
Miranda, what's that tire weigh? Right.
You know, I really actually don't know the exact weight, but I'd say maybe 20 pounds. How much would you say a right rear would weigh?
I don't know, maybe 10 pounds.
I said 20, but that's probably over. But they don't weigh that much. They're really big, and you'd think they'd weigh more than they do, but they really don't. So.
How much tire pressure are you gonna have in there?
We'll probably run about 8.5 with the way the track is right now. It's pretty heavy, so, and it's gonna be rough.
Okay, we'll check back.
Awesome, thank you.
Haley, I see you're using your inventive side tonight. What is it you are exactly trying to do here?
Well, and this track is super muddy tonight. There's a lot of water. We had a little bit of rain. So I know this looks a little goofy, and I've never done it before. So we're going to see what it's going to do. But I'm just going to put some tape here and then kind of tape the edges. And hopefully when we come in, it'll, you know, of course it's probably going to be covered in mud because it's a mess out there. So we can just yank it right off, and then the helmet's pretty clean and pull tear-off off. We should be good. So we'll see how it works. I'll let you know later.
You know, this truly sounds like a woman's perspective in that she's wanting to look good.
Oh, well, when, you know, my mom's got to clean the helmets and stuff. So if I can make her job easier, then we're doing a good thing. So
the mud off doesn't work on that?
It works to an extent, but trust me, if you show everybody what the track looks like out there, I think they'd be coming up with some crazy way to keep this mud off as well. So we'll see.
I got a suggestion. I don't know if you've ever seen the modifieds. They put those zip ties on the wheels. This supposedly keeps the mud out of the wheels. It's.
I don't know what, you know, putting zip ties on here would do for me. It might not do me a whole lot of good, but we'll see. Maybe this will work. Put another row of tape on there. When I come in, we can just yank it off. So.
This might lead to a second industry. Haley Arnold, helmet clean.
There you go. There you go. I'll start it with a little bit of duct tape.
Okay. Brian, is this just some last minute stuff here? Did you guys make some changes? Just need to check stuff out?
Yeah, I'm just checking stuff out, make sure everything's tight. So just kind of one of those little safety things, just see everything's torqued down, so nobody's missed it. Two cars every now and then stuff gets missed, so makes it a little difficult.
This stuff was all set earlier in the week, I presume, at the shop when you had it on the blocks or the scales or whatever?
Yep. They block them and get everything ready in the shop. So all I do here is just try to go over to make sure they didn't miss something. Just double checking, second hand. So.
will start from the pole. On his outside, the 3Z of Zach Davis. Then it's John Hagan and Jordan the Bullet Poston. John Corbin, Haley Arnold, points leader with the Warrior Region, car number 28, Jonathan Cornell, and Davis pulls the trigger just a little bit too soon. Lee don't even give him a good look on that one. That didn't even deserve a look. He never even moved the flag.
That's not even cheating. That's not even cheating when you do that.
So they're going to get to practice one more time. I believe he'll be probably pointing his finger at Zach Davis, car number 3Z. Well, Zach, you know, receives him. He's one tough customer out of the Oklahoma Sooner region, making the trip up to race with us here at US 36 Speedway. Always a tough competitor, and he'll start this one from the pole. Jake Martins, Zach Davis, bringing the field down into turn number 3. Reach down, don't let that seat belt get a little bit too loose. They're going to stand on the gas. Lee Spicer looking them over. There's the green flag. Let's go racing. This time it's Jake Martins getting the jump, and he dives to the high side of the racetrack. He'll lead him down the backstretch. Jordan Boston with a big move, challenging for that second spot. Slider coming up in 3 and 4. It's Jake Martins, Jordan Boston, Zach Davis, John Hagan, Jonathan Cornell. That's the running order as the field completes lap number 1. Martin's stretching his legs out now, increasing that lead as he completes lap number 2. Jordan, the Bullet Boston, giving chase in the Bowers Motorsports car number 4. I think I called that a Maxim chassis. Jordan used to race a Maxim. He is in a Chennai Flex Right chassis. And that car number 4 already picked up an A-feature win with the new combination. Jake Martin's your leader, Jordan Boston, John Hagan, Zach Davis, Jonathan Cornell, John Corbin, and Haley Arnold. That's your running order. 4 complete, 4 to go for Jake Martins. Boston trying to close that gap now in car number 4. Jordan Boston standing on the gas, and he is closing ground on your leader, Jake Martins. 6 complete, it's 2 to go. Jake Martins, Jordan Boston. Boston riding the cushion high and hard through turns 1 and 2. It'll be the white flag for Jake Martins, Jordan Boston, John Hagan. That's your top 3. Zach Davis settles into that 4th spot. Jonathan Cornell is 5th, but here he comes from Fairview, Oklahoma in the Womack Machine Supply. Car number 48, Jake Martins takes the win. Jordan Boston coming home in that 2nd spot. John Hagan is 3rd. And on the final lap, Jonathan Cornell picking up those all-important passing points, making the pass on Zach Davis for 4th. Rounding out the field, John Corbin and Haley Arnold.
An interesting storyline, Mr. Stan Caesar, before this thing flags off. You've got Adelaide, Australia's Chad Eli behind the wheel of the McCarty Motorsports 9M, still seeking his first Warrior win, and young Jonathan Cornell, a multi-time winner with the Warrior Series, starting outside of row number 1. It'll be a drag race into turn number 1, and I will say, more than likely, whoever wins that drag race on the start has a great shot of winning this race, and we'll see all these Midwest competitors mixing it up as well. It's going to be a great show.
Well, field rolls slowly down the backstretch. Caution lights are out around the speedway. Field in the hands of Lee Spicer, Chad Ely, Jonathan Cornell, Jake Martins, the gas man, Jack Dover. RPMs come up. Feel the thunder! There's the green flag, and let's go racing! Cornell takes the field down into turns 1 and 2. Jonathan Cornell, your leader. Jack Dover now dives up into that 2nd spot. Fast line around the rim. Jay Russell slides up and into that 4th spot around Martins. It's Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover, Chad Ely, Jay Russell, Jake Martins. We got trouble in turn number 4. Looks like the 4J of John Corbin. Corbin rolls to a stop up against the front stretch wall, and that brings out the caution. 1 lap officially complete in tonight's 25-lap ASCS Midwest Warrior Region A main event.
Well, I'm not so sure, Stan. It appears as though young John Corbin from Kansas City, Missouri, all alone. We mentioned the racing surface very locked down, the opposite of slick, and it makes these race cars very tight. John bobbled to the top side coming off of turn number 4, and there you see what ensued. Upside down in turn number 4, red flag flies, lap number 1 in the books.
And your Warrior Region points leader from Sedalia, Missouri, Jonathan Cornell, on the point. He's got the gas man, your defending Midwest champion, Jack Dover, riding back in that 2nd spot.
I don't know.
Lee Boy looks him over, and there's the green flag. We're back to racing action. Cornell stance on the gas and takes it hard into turn number 1. Jonathan Cornell jacked over. Look out! Jake Martin's almost bicycles in turn 1 and 2. Brings it back down on all 4 wheels. It's Cornell, Dover, Ely, Russell, Boston, Arnold, Sutherland, and Egan. That's your running order. Leaders about to encounter the lap machine of Greg Clemens. 2 laps complete now, 3 complete. Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover giving chase.
So right now, Jonathan Cornell, we've got one off the pace on the front straightaway. Chad Eli off the pace will exit to the deep pit. A battle for the lead, turn 3. Jonathan Cornell to the top side. Here comes the gas man, Jack Dover to the left side, wheel to wheel for the top spot. It's Cornell getting by the lapper of J.D. Black. Now Dover having trouble getting by. So the battle's shaping up. Your top 2 runners running into some heavy lap traffic. And here comes Jay Russell. 3 cars for the top spot tonight at the Bud Shootout. Cornell now trying to get by the 6 of Haley Arnold, and he does, as well as Clemens. And Dover has closed in on the bumper. Jay Russell, 1, 2, 3, they go into turn number 3.
It's a 3-car dance as they come off corner number 4. Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover, and Jay Russell. Dover takes a look to the inside. They're wheel-to-wheel down the backstretch. Cornell pulls it out. Once again, lap traffic. Zach Davis slides to the high side. Here comes Dover. They're wheel-to-wheel. They touch going into turn number 1. Still, Jonathan Cornell, your leader. Jack Dover, Jay Russell. 3-car battle. Less than 3 car lengths separating first and second and third. Once again, heavy lap traffic. Cody Baker, Wyatt Burks right in front of your leaders. Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover, Jay Russell, 1, 2, and 3. 10 laps now, 11 laps complete. Dover right on the rear bumper, peeks inside. Jack Dover makes him trouble on the backstretch, up and over. Stu Snyder, car number 23S, gets up and over.
Jordan Boston.
Possible contact.
Somebody just hit him.
So here we go. Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover, Jay Russell.
The
then
6 is a lap down.
Car number 6, 1 lap down. That's Haley Arnold. Then in the 4th spot, it's the 4 of Jordan Boston. The 5th spot, the 4A of John Egan. Looks like we're just about ready to go green. Caution lights are out. Starter Lee Boy Spicer looks them over, green flag in hand. They stand on the gas, and we're back to racing action.
As Jonathan Cornell will lead your field, about a 5-car length lead down the back straightaway. He got a good-looking start over the gas man, Jack Dover. Then about another 5-car lengths back to Elwood, Kansas, Jay Russell. Here comes Jordan Boston riding the top side.
Boston up around the rim through turns 1 and 2, starting to close the gap now on Jay Russell. About 4 or 5 car lengths separating 1st through 4th in between each position. Jonathan Cornell about halfway around to once again encountering that heavy lap traffic. Jack Dover giving chase. Jay Russell is 3rd. Jordan the Bullet Boston
just shy of halfway home, working lap number 14, or just over halfway home. Number 14 next time by, and the action will heat up as Jonathan Cornell will get into lap traffic. Can the gas man run him down?
Well, I don't know what adjustments they made during that red flag, but it looks like Cornell with just a bit of an advantage on Dover now. Here comes the lap traffic, and here comes Dover once again, down around that low side in turns 1 and 2.
Jack Dover closing the margin for the lead. Both drivers right off the hub of turn number 4. We've got a battle for the lead exiting turn number 2.
Boy, check out the brake rotors on the rear of that car. Was glowing bright red last time around. All over the brakes trying to keep that car. Here we are, lap traffic, Cornell, Dover.
And as we promised, the battle heating up as they get into lap traffic, wheel to wheel for the top spot. Cornell chops him 1-2 as they go out of 4.
Dover looked inside, can't make the pass. Still, 2 car lengths separating your leaders. Look like it's trouble for the 5M. That's Miranda Arnold, and it's once again 1 car length separating 1st and 2nd. Jonathan Cornell, Jack Dover. Dover now less than a car length. Takes a look inside. Jack Dover slider in turn number 2. There's a new leader. Here comes Cornell. Back up the inside. Dover slams the door as they come in turn 3.
We got a new leader. Turn 4, the gas man. Jack Dover takes the top spot away as Cornell now back on the gas, gets back to the rear bumper. Turn 3 for the lead.
Oh, we got yellow go. Gauge door over in turn number 4. Caution is out. That will negate the pass that just took place coming off turn number 4. Cody Baker heading to the pits in car number 38. So the new leader, car number 53, the gas man, Jack Dover. Caution lights are out. Jack Dover brings him slowly through turns 3 and 4. Roush Yates forward power. He stands on the gas. Oh, and it looks like Cornell jumped the cushion, but he brings it back down. Does a big wheelie right at the start-finish line. Jack Dover, Jonathan Cornell, Jordan Boston, John Hagan now up to that 4th spot in car number 4A.
As Dover's gotten away about a 5-car length lead, keep your eye on Jordan Boston. Will he be able to reel in the Kiowa line builder 28? We shall see. Just a handful of laps remaining. So Dover right now looking to go green, white, checkered next time by. Will be working lap number 23. About a full straightaway lead now for the gas man, Jack Dover.
Laps 23 complete, 2 to go. It's Dover, Cornell, Boston, Egan, Bellum, Sutherland, Martins, Danley. White flag is out. 1 to go for the gas man, Jack Dover. Stands on that Ford horsepower through turns 3 and 4 the final time. Give it to the gas man, Jack Dover, with his 2nd straight win here at the US 36 Raceway in Osborne, Missouri. A good run for Jonathan Cornell coming home in that 2nd spot. Jordan, the Bullet Boston, finishing in 3rd. John Egan is 4th. And unofficially the 86 of Kyle Bellum, bringing that car home in the top.
Well, Brian, all I can say is thanks a lot for letting us come around and bother you guys a little bit tonight. Appreciate your time, all the effort. I know it takes a lot to get a race team going and all the stuff that's involved. But once again, let me just say it again, man. Happy Father's Day Sunday.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all my employees at the shop at Mid-Mill Auto Sales for trying to help get us here and doing all the hard work that they do too. So, and all the friends and everything we get to do. I really appreciate it. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Me too. Brian Arnold rocks. All right. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
That's it, man.
Hi, I'm Haley Arnold.
And I'm Miranda Arnold.
And Father's Day is coming up this Sunday, so we wanted to just give a big shout out to our dad and just say Happy Father's Day to him. And you know, with this racing, we just want to say thanks for everything he does. He does so much for us, and without him and my mom, you know, we wouldn't be doing what we do, and we appreciate everything they do for us. We have great parents, and we hope our dad has a happy Father's Day, and hopefully we'll make him proud tonight and go out and, I don't know, pick up a W.
We'd just like to say, Dad, we love you, and once again, thank you for everything.
Happy Father's Day.